The Fantasy Football Week 6 Waiver Wire and Week 5 recap edition of Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code OFFSGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old-fashioned football.
You make this deal right now, you pancake-eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old-fashioned football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at JMarkFootball. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB on the X. If you haven't been here before, welcome. If you're a repeat customer, welcome back. Before I keep going to talk about Week 6 waivers, Week 5 recap, and some delightful whiskey, I got to bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her in the X at the Mark. She kicked my ass in the Savage and Cook League this weekend. Mer, how you doing today?
Doing great.
Actually,
especially after kicking your ass. It's not over yet.
It's not over. I'm ahead right now.
But you'll be done.
But I'm only ahead by 5 and you have 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how it goes. Sup, peeps, Serial checking in the chat. How's it going, man? Good win to the Cowboys. I may have slightly been rooting for my boy Justin Fields to win with the Steelers. Sorry. But good win by the Cowboys. So how are you doing today? You doing good?
You asked me how I was doing. I said I was doing great.
How was fantasy football weekend for you?
It was
up and down.
Yeah, I think I had 3 leagues I've been undefeated in, and I think after tonight, I'm going to get my first loss in one of them. So I'm a little disappointed. Still going strong in the other 2. So hope to keep that going.
Speaking of losing in leagues, Serial pointing out he did beat me. My first loss in the Keeper's Heart Bowl.
Good.
So good.
Yes,
not
no, it's
good.
Good. You were undefeated. Good.
I was undefeated. That is true. And in 2 different leagues that I was undefeated in, I'm taking my first loss, the family league.
So you're no longer undefeated anywhere.
Yeah, I am. I'm undefeated in the Best Ball League. The one,
I thought
or
you
not
said
Best
2.
Ball. The 101 of Dynasty. That's the one. No, I said in 2 of the leagues that I was undefeated in. I'm undefeated in more than 2. Thank you very much. But in our family league, I lost after a lot of wheeling and dealing. I went against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So that was tough. We're in week 6.
Yeah.
Bye weeks.
I was just going to say bye weeks. This past week, I wasn't even going to talk about week 6. I knew where you were going. But bye weeks really affected me this last week. I'm hoping I got the majority of my good players in those. But no, we're really just getting into bye week. So we're going to be running into this. This week it's the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Vikings.
Yeah. Dolphins need a bye week. It's been a rough go if you have fantasy football players on the Dolphins. And the one bright spot had been Devon Chan, and then he got hurt this last weekend. So yeah. By the way, talking about bye weeks, I'll tell you what's not taking a bye week, and that's the damned weather. Of course, we have another hurricane getting ready to hit Florida, and Hurricane Helene was just devastating. It's still devastating to the people of Western North Carolina. The SGPN team is teaming up with the local charity mountainprojects.org to help give back. And the biggest donation will get a guest spot on the CFB Pick Show and a ton of gear. Just go to mountainprojects.org and hit flood support. Help out today because they need the help. It's been pretty bad. We've all seen the news, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the news, I'm sure you saw it on social media.
Reels.
Your reels, your Facebook, everything. It's been everywhere, and it's really bad. And and the weather's not giving up because Florida's about to get hit for the second time.
Yeah, and they just, I don't know. We we have friends in Florida, so I've been seeing updates, and it was like updated to a category 5 today. Not when it hits land, but where it is right now, it's a category 5.
And it's projected to hit it at 4, so that's pretty bad. But who knows what will happen with it. Everybody, if you're in Florida, obviously stay safe. And yeah, Miranda, it's Monday.
It is Monday. So
what are we talking about today?
We've got an updated injury report. We're going to bring you studs and duds. Mr. Throws a lot. Underdog Monday night football picks, waiver wire pickups that you should target. We've got some Monday night best bets. I almost said best ball. Monday night best bets. And of course, we're doing a whiskey review. I'm going to get right into that part. Obviously, we're going to do that later on in the show. But we were talking in.
Whoa.
What?
You can't steal my. What are we drinking today?
Okay, fine. Say it.
Hey, Mur, what are we drinking today?
We are going to be trying. We've tried both of these on the show before, but being such a. I feel like it's a popular whiskey. It was one of our earlier whiskeys we did. We're doing both the bourbon and the rye. The rye came later because obviously the rye wasn't out. It started as just bourbon.
Yeah.
But we're going to do Angel's Envy. We get asked, being a whiskey show, we get asked a lot from people who are going out and grabbing something and they want to make a cocktail or they want to pick up a whiskey. I can't tell you how many times we get asked, like, what should I get or what's good? And it's hard to recommend something. Like, we have a lot of favorites that you can't just get anywhere.
Right.
This Angel's Envy, you can pretty much find anywhere. It has a really good price point, and I don't think you can go wrong with it.
Yeah.
So we often end up recommending that, or we'll get a call from somebody in a store. Like, what do I get? And they'll list some things off. And Angel's Envy is often when we recommend.
Yeah.
So we're going to try both the bourbon and the rye tonight, and then we'll drink them. We'll make an old fashioned with one of each on Thursday's show and try it in an old fashioned and let you guys know what we think. Obviously, you probably know that we think highly of it since we recommend it. But
yeah, absolutely. We last did it we did the bourbon on our 6th episode. So we are on episode 151.
It's been many whiskeys ago.
Yeah. I kind of flew over last week's episode 150, kind of a big deal. But we'll celebrate the 200th. Yeah,
let's go for
sure. And thanks as always for tuning into Old Fashioned Football. If you can head to Spotify or Apple and give us a 5-star rating, only you can prevent corporate gambling from taking over, or like those fantasy pros and all those popular podcasts. Help us fight them a little bit. Help us get a little edge on them by giving us 5 stars. Can be Spotify or Apple. However, we are running our contest.
I was going to say, we're doing a giveaway through the end of the month. I guess, no, we're not giving away through the end of the month, but at the end of the month, we're doing a giveaway if you leave us a review from now until the end of the month, your name will go in for a drawing to get a Old Fashioned Football t-shirt from the SGPN merch store.
Absolutely. Checking in with the chat. Josiah's checking in. Yo, how about them Gophers? That is college football, sir. We were talking NFL.
Get your Gophers out of here.
Get your Gophers. They still lost to Iowa by quite a bit. He is also saying, do your duty. RD checking in. Is J-Mark ready for a Caleb trade?
How many times are we going to get asked this question?
He did look good. I will say that.
He did.
The offensive line actually blocked, but I'm not.
They gave him more time to throw.
I'm not getting too excited, though, because it was the Panthers. They're a garbage team.
If we lost against the Panthers, I don't even want to know what kind of. I get upset, but I move on quickly. You don't. So I don't even want to know what kind of week we'd be having right now.
I'd still be pissy right now. So the injury report has been weird this year in the fact that I feel like they're not releasing as much details on Monday as they normally have in the past, but we're doing our best to cover it for you guys so that you know. So let's get started right in on that. Do you want to kick it off?
I will. I'm going to kick it off with Nico Collins. He has a hamstring injury. He was originally considered day-to-day. However, they are now saying he's week-to-week. So I would expect he misses at least one game, but they have said it can take a couple of weeks for a hamstring. So
not good news for somebody who just did a lot of wheeling and dealing to get him in the family league.
I'm not happy with you. You're just
it's not my fault.
making. I guess you were strategic about it, but it reminded me of Monopoly.
It reminded
and you
of
did it in our
Monopoly.
family fantasy football league.
And
it just reminded me of
it.
Monopoly, where you make trades, like these side trades to trade with somebody to get a property that somebody else wants so that you can make a trade with them. Like, it just was so Monopoly like flashback.
I believe next time we play Monopoly, if I like land on your hotel or you land on mine, we should make the whole family feel awkward, being like, is there any other way that I can pay?
No.
Zach Moss has an ankle injury. I can tell Miranda wants me to just move on.
Why are you taking it there? There is no need to take it there. I'm
have
talking
you not
about
seen
Monopoly.
that reel? Or
I have.
okay.
But I'm talking about the frustration. I was frustrated, and I felt Monopoly rage.
Oh.
Not quite the level of rage.
I offered 5 teams an initial trade.
I didn't like your initial
it's
trade.
Not my fault. My mother counted
I
first.
didn't want you to end up with Nico Collins.
Well,
so
I did.
Just like, nope, not doing this.
Anyway, Zach Moss has an ankle injury. It's not expected to be serious. However, if he misses time, it's Chase Brown time, who he's been getting more carries anyways. We really like him, or I do anyways. I think you do as well. He'd be the next man up.
He would be. Aaron Rodgers is undergoing further evaluations on his ankle. He says it's just a low ankle sprain.
Yeah, that's what he told the media. He is basically a doctor. I think he believes that anyways. You know what? All he needs to do is go back to California, listen to some dolphin sex sounds. That helped his healing for his Achilles. So maybe he'll be good as new.
Do you have to be in California to listen to that? Or was he outside listening to it?
Well, that's where he was. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. That's where he lives, I believe. He's a Cali guy. Anyways, 49ers updates. There's a lot of them. Chris Conley is day-to-day with an oblique injury. Jacob Cowing is day-to-day with a shoulder injury. Ricky Pearsall is going to continue rehabbing. He won't be coming off the injured reserve yet. Christian McCaffrey news. He ran on hard ground and didn't have any setbacks. So could he be coming back soon? We don't know. But he was able to run on hard ground, whatever that means. No more soft ground for him. He can run on the hard ground now. Nothing about him taking a hit. So
another update for you. Will Levis isn't practicing, but is expected to return from his shoulder injury that he suffered on Thursday.
Yeah. Non-injury news, but could affect the players. The Bucs are traveling to New Orleans on Tuesday due to the hurricane. They could be slightly distracted because obviously their houses could be getting hit. Their families might be a little displaced, and then they're not practicing on their home field for, leading up to the game like they normally would. So that can all kind of throw the rhythm of everything.
Or it could go the opposite direction.
Could go the opposite. Maybe they'll be ready because they're already on the road. They didn't travel right before the game. That's true.
Could be throwing themselves into the game to not think about what's going on back home. I don't know.
Very possible.
And then Rashee Rice needs his LCL repaired.
Yes.
So he has surgery tomorrow morning, and I feel like he's likely out for the rest of the season.
I saw on Sleeper that somebody said, "What the fuck is an LCL?" And I responded, "The lateral collateral ligament," which is not correct. I just said that. And they responded, "Thank you. I wasn't sure." So,
Justin, you can't go responding with nonsense. People are never going to trust us.
It's just the fact that they read lateral collateral ligament and thought, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
You're horrible.
I know.
You just let it go too.
Yeah.
So they're gonna go repeating lateral collateral.
I hope so. I hope so.
You kill me.
Oh
Okay.
man. Nick, let's check in with the chat.
Yeah.
Nick Fortune, today is a sad day because I lost to Justin twice. Sorry about your luck. For one of the trades to get Nico, Brees was one of the players I traded. My dad saying he was no prize either. No, but he didn't get injured. So there is that. 49ers have the injury bug, seems like they always do. Aaron Rodgers stayed in a Holiday Inn Express last night. I assume that's who Artie is talking about. And so speaking of bad pickups, when is Mixon coming back? Excellent question.
That's a great question. I need him back in multiple leagues. It's killing me. My injured reserve. I need AJ Brown back.
Yeah.
I need Evan Engram to come back. He teased me because Sleeper had him questionable with projected points. I was like, yes, I'm going to have a consistent tight end. I put him in all my lineups. Then he was out. And so it was a mad scramble Sunday morning, getting him out of all my lineups. I had to go pick up a tight end somewhere else because bye weeks.
Yeah. She got her tight end out quickly. And because it wasn't consistent. Should we, before we continue, I think we should let people know a little bit about Underdog Fantasy because we're going to be talking about it soon.
Yeah. We are brought to you by Underdog. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts, and we are going to be giving out picks here in a little bit, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, go on over to underdogfantasy.com and sign up with promo code OFFSGPN to claim your special pick plus first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Again, that's underdogfantasy.com, promo code OFFSGPN.
All right. We are back. And checking up AJ Brown back next week. I kind of thought that too. They had the bye week this week, probably coming back. The lateral collateral ligament is correct.
Wait, what?
Oh,
it is?
It is apparently.
You made it up and it's right?
I guess it is. It must have been stored back here somewhere at some point. I just said it because it sounded funny. The lateral collateral doesn't sound very medical. You just
pulled it out of your ass and you're right.
Apparently so. Excuse me. Let's talk a little studs and duds, though. We do this each Monday as a little recap. There were a lot of duds of big players or top players. There were and some studs that were kind of surprises. So do you want to kick it off?
I guess I Googled really quick because you
didn't believe
I believe her, but I just can't believe you. You're thinking you're being a smart ass.
I know
online, and you're right.
It's no longer funny. It's not.
Well, I feel like we're idiots for laughing about this 5 minutes ago. So anyway, I should have Googled LCL right away.
I don't feel like an idiot at all. So you can feel like an idiot alone if you want, but I still find it funny.
All right, let's go here. Quarterback stud for y'all. Kirk Cousins, he's projected 15.8. He finished with 34.36 with 509 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I'm sorry, did you say y'all?
Maybe.
Quarterback stud for y'all. See some questions popping in. We'll get to those in just a second. Running back stud, Tank Bigsby, who we already talked about a little bit, projected 3.7, finished with 25.4, 101 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Yes. He had a day.
Jamar Chase was projected 13.4 and finished with 36.3.
Yeah, and Packers tight end Tucker Kraft looking like the dude for them at tight end. Projected 8.5, finished 25.8. That's coming off a week where he just had a big week as well. So maybe some consistency there.
I've got a couple duds for you at quarterback.
All right, couple of them.
We said to sit this guy, Andy Dalton, who was projected 13. He finished with a whopping 3.74. Sam Darnold was also a dud for the first time, projected 15.1, and he finished with 4.26.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been playing really well. It's been surprising, and now it's like
I thought he's somebody like you can rely on when you need to, and nope, I was wrong.
Not anymore. Running back dud, Breece Hall. Sorry, Dad, I traded him to you. Projected 14.4, finished with 5.2. I don't expect that's going to be every game, though. They traveled to London. Rodgers just didn't look good in general. So, yeah.
Sorry, did we bring the whiskey?
Yes, the whiskey's in
fine.
here.
But you're like, get back on track, woman. Just focus. My mind is all over the place. Wide receiver dud, Deebo Samuel was projected 14.5 points and finished with 2.5 in the loss to the Cardinals. Sorry, Fortune.
Yeah, not only did his team lose to me twice, but his team lost. Tight end dud, which is hard to pick because the highest tight end projection in a half PPR was only 10.1. So they're all kind of duds, I guess. But I guess we'll go with Zach Ertz. He was only projected 5.6. Couldn't even do that. He finished with 2. So Way to go. Daniel popping in Godwin and Mason for Mixon. If you're getting Godwin and Mason, I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're giving those away for Mixon, I would say no. I would keep Chris Godwin and Jordan Mason.
Chris Godwin, I feel like he's too much of a stud to give away. And I mean, Mason is, if CMC is coming back, he won't be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think he gets something though? He's been doing.
You think Jordan Mason will be getting something, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll still be involved.
He'll stay in the mix.
I think it's going to be hard to trust Christian McCaffrey this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does come back, they're not just going to, here's 20 touches.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to work him in.
It'll be a slow
transition,
and Mason's still going to be relevant.
Yeah, for sure. Jonathan,
I think it's too much.
I do too. Yeah. If you're getting Godwin and Mason, I like it. But otherwise, I would not do the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Santiago checking in. Got offered Terry McLaurin and Stevenson for Devonta Adams. My running backs are Mason, CMC, HN, Zach Moss. Would you take the deal? Yeah, I don't mind that because Devonta is likely going to be traded. I think it'll be the Saints or the Jets, which should, I guess, raise his value. So yeah, I like it. Oh, you're giving away.
He's giving away Adams here.
Okay. Let me back up then and approach it from that.
Thank you.
Well, I like that. I actually like that anyways, because Devon Chan and Zach Moss, both questionable. Chan is on his bye week next week. Zach Moss may not play. So you're looking at just having Jordan Mason at that point at running back. So that makes sense. I see down here, wide receivers are Adams, Ayuk, Devonta Smith, Wandale, and Christian Kirk. Yeah, I think you have the depth to be able to do that. Thoughts? Or if you don't like the trade.
I'm thinking. I do agree. You have the depth there.
I think it's pretty even. It's a pretty even trade either way.
Yeah. I think it's a fair trade. Let's just say that. I do think it's a fair trade.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think, especially for this week, getting Stevenson is going to help you. All right. You know what time it is. It's time for a little Sir Throws a Lot, which of course means we get to hear from our good buddy.
This is Jim Miller, former Chicago Bears quarterback, and now it's time for Sir Throws a Lot.
All right. We touch on this every week. If you haven't joined us before, it's the guy that threw the most just for a little bit of fun. Last week we had Jordan Love with 54. Miranda, who's this week's Sir Throws a Lot?
This week, it's a former NFC North quarterback, but we break our 3-week streak of NFC North.
Yeah, we've had 3 in a row.
Yes. Kirk Cousins, he threw for 58 times, which is the most so far this year. We haven't had a quarterback throw that many times yet. He threw for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Which is crazy. Because you don't think of that Falcons offense throwing the ball.
No,
I mean,
you
they
don't.
got Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. You just don't think of that. Is Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk a sell high? I don't think Brandon Ayuk is a sell high, to be honest. We've been waiting for him to finally break out, and he did. Garrett Wilson, for me, I'm anti-Rodgers, so I don't think Rodgers is going to do great supporting him. But if they get Devontae Adams, I think that's a bit of an issue because then you have targets going away from Garrett Wilson.
And he likes to, we've seen it already, he likes to go with what's familiar to him.
Hashtag Alan Lazard.
Yeah. So I do think that is definitely going to impact Wilson if that's a leaning spot for Adams.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Jamie checking in. He called you a fella. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Come
cheers,
on,
Jamie. How's it going? Let's talk a little bit about, I have graphics here. If I can run my computer, we said we were going to give away Underdog Fantasy lineups, and I think the time is now. I did not lose your notes. Thank you very much.
They're here. They're not even crumpled.
They are not even crumpled. So let's go ahead and do your lineup first.
Yes. I have a lower on here. You know how I feel about lowers, but I'm going with it. Patrick Mahomes, lower than 18.5 rushing yards. He's only gone over this once, and the Saints are a top 10 in rushing yards to quarterbacks. So I don't see him hitting that. Then I also have Travis Kelce, higher than 59.5 receiving yards. He finally had a good game last week with 89 yards. The Saints are 27th in receiving yards allowed to tight ends. I feel like he has a good chance. I'm also like crossing my fingers. Like I need him to be consistent. Come on, Travis Kelce. All right. Alvin Kamara, higher than 16 rushing attempts. He's gone over this in each of the last 3 games. He was 20, 26, and then 19. I think that this is something he's going to get. Xavier Worthy, higher than 4.5 rushing yards. He's gone over this in 3 of 4 games this year. So 21, 5, and 13. It doesn't seem like it would be too hard for him to get that over 4.5 there. And then I have Justin Watson, higher than 2 receptions. He's had 2 in 2 of 4 games and now with Rashee Rice out, I think he'll be more involved. This one, the stats don't support the higher than 2, but just because of the situation that the Chiefs have right now, I think that this could be a hit.
Was it really you just picked him because of his first name?
Sure, we can go with that. I don't think that's credible, but
excellent first name.
So $10 pays you $202.80.
I like it. I went a little bit of a different route here. As you can see, I went Patrick Mahomes higher than a half an interception, throwing an interception. Fun fact, Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback to throw 1 interception in every game so far. Travis Kelce, I think they finally get back on track and he gets his touchdown higher than a touchdown.
I would love that.
Me too. Xavier Worthy, 3.5 receptions higher. I like how you have him getting involved in the run game. I think he'll also be involved in the pass game because without Rashee Rice, he's their speedy rookie. They're going to want to get him involved. I have a defensive prop. It's my first defensive prop. Just for fun, Chris Jones, or I should say stat, half a sack higher. He had 2 last week. I think he's getting warmed up now. And then I have Blake, the Saints kicker, 6.5 kicking points higher. I think they probably are able to move the ball some, but it ends up with some field goals. So yeah, that gets them higher.
There you go. Look at you. You always throwing those kickers.
I know. I got to give the kickers some love, doing a little defense, just to add in a little different in here. $10 pays $216.20. Of course, use promo code OFFSGPN to get a deposit bonus up to $1,000. All right, let's check up with the chat real quick. Good evening, Wesley. Welcome back. Hope everything's going good for you. In a more casual or modern usage, fellas can sometimes be applied to mixed groups. I'll use gals next time to offend J Mark.
Thank you. Please do.
won't offend me.
I'd like the laugh though.
Yeah. We were going to do waivers next. We have about 30 minutes before the game. Yeah, you know what? We got time. Let's get through the waivers.
Are you sure?
All right, let's do the bets then.
Let's do best bets.
Let's get our best bets out of the way for everybody so that you can see place them if you agree with us.
Give
I
people
suppose.
Time to think.
Yeah. See if you agree with them. We are in the profit by quite a bit, but you make your own decisions. As Miranda once told me, you make your decisions.
I
Justin.
told you that in my sleep. So you chose wisely though. All right, my best bet tonight. I'm going to stick with this again with my longest reception bet that I've been giving out. It's hit 3 or 4 weeks. Last week was the first time it didn't hit. But this week I'm going with Xavier Worthy, the speedy rookie for the Chiefs. His longest reception is set at 19.5 yards. I like the over at -120.
Yeah. I like that as well. I'm also targeting Worthy. This is just kind of a carryover from my Underdog Fantasy entry. That's not laziness. That's just how much I like this. 3.5 receptions over it at -105. I think with Rashee out, Mahomes is going to look his way more. One other I like, not a prop bet. I'm doing a little bonus bet here. But Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs haven't covered a first half spread since like last year. The Saints plus 3.5 is -118. I think at halftime, this is a 3-point game. So I'm all over that as well. How about our first touchdowns? You want to go first?
Yes. And I just feel like this is the obvious one or like the easy choice, but I still like it.
Sometimes the easy ones pay the
I
most,
know.
or like the most frequent.
Alvin Kamara has been a touchdown machine. So I'm going with him. I don't necessarily think that the Saints are going to be the first score of the game, but first touchdown, I'm going with Alvin Kamara plus 500.
Nice. I like it. I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. I think that the Chiefs get on the right page. He's at 7-1.
That touchdown right away.
Right away.
And then...
He's the first one. I actually think, this could be a game. We saw last night the Steelers-Cowboys game. First touchdown wasn't until the third quarter. I think this could be a little bit of a slow burn as well.
I was going to say, he hasn't been active until
later in the game. I'm a little afraid Xavier Worthy might get it if the Chiefs score first in some sort of reverse end around. I'm just going to stick with one.
Yeah. How can you give out two? I didn't give out two.
I'll go with Trav. Maybe he's spending less time on the Eras tour. I don't know. I'm not sure what that guy's up to these days. But
you haven't checked in with him lately?
I have not. Have you? No, I didn't. I knew it.
You knew it.
All right. Whoops. We're going to do our waivers in 1 second. But before we do, speaking of betting, I got to let you know that we're brought to you by BetUS. And bet with the best in the business, BetUS has been around for more than 40 years. Bet anywhere, BetUS is available in a ton of locations, including internationally. And they just launched an all-new live betting experience. Easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning-fast payouts. Use our link to sign up and get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. We always pick who do you like to score first? Saints field goal, Saints touchdown, Chiefs field goal, or Chiefs touchdown?
I'm going Chiefs field goal.
Chiefs field goal, which is I think it's like plus 230. I forgot to pull the lines ahead of time. Bad, Justin, but I believe that's what it's at. Don't forget promo code SGPN so that you get matching your deposit. 125% on the first 3 is crazy. We are also brought to you by Rhythm. Have you ever wanted to create your own sports betting model for football? Do you even know what a sports betting model is? SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds and get predictions for betting on moneyline spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard, or press build model for me. And Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop. They also have a myriad of stats, research, and trends analysis to give you even more betting insights. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Now back to old-fashioned football.
All right, now we can get to our waivers after a brief check-in with the chat. I see it going. Jonathan says, I'm leading by 21. My opponent has Mahomes. I have Worthy. Think I get the win this week. I think you do, especially because if Mahomes is throwing to Worthy, you're going to be getting those points.
Yes.
So that's good. Wesley saying, I need 10 points from Travis tonight to win in the ESPN league I'm in. I think he gets it. I think he gets a touchdown.
Optimistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But good luck. I hope you get that.
Absolutely. Shant says, would you guys trade Brandon Aubrey for Geno Smith? If you need help at quarterback, I would always trade a kicker away for a quarterback. I know Brandon Aubrey has been a good kicker, but quarterbacks are just, I feel like, more important. And Geno's been pretty solid this year. So
he has been.
I think I would. You can always pick up a different kicker, and the point differential usually isn't that much different. You do have Sam Darnold and Jared Goff. Is it a
super flex? Is that what you're trying to ask?
Yeah, it was 2 quarterback league, I was going to say, but yeah, is it a 2 quarterback or super flex league? Because if so, absolutely, for sure. If not, I think with Sam Darnold and Jared Goff, you're probably good. What should I do with Godwin? I think Godwin's fine. I mean, he's going to keep getting targets.
Keep him. Don't give him away.
Yeah, I know it wasn't the big week this week, but I think he's going to be just fine. He's still going to be pretty consistent. All right. It's a 1 quarterback league. I don't know if you need to get Geno Smith then if you have Sam Darnold and Jared Goff.
Because I think I would probably start one of those 2 over him.
Yeah. I would too.
I know Sam Darnold had a really bad week, but I don't think that's going to be the norm going forward.
Agreed. I agree. I mean, he had a bad week because their defense just kept taking the ball away from Rodgers. It felt like they had short fields to play with. So he really didn't have to do all that much. I mean, they won the game. It's not like he had a bad performance.
It's not like, no, it's just the way the game played out. And I just don't think that that's going to happen a lot. So
I agree. All right, let's get to these waivers. I'm going to let you lead the way, of course. And, we always start with quarterback. So why not start with quarterback?
All right. My quarterback, Daniel Jones.
Oh, Dan the man.
Yes, he's rostered in 13.9% of leagues. You said Dan the man. I don't think he's back to Dan Jones. I know we shortened his name to that when he was like a rock star last year or the year before. But Daniel Jones hasn't looked decent this or he has looked decent.
He hasn't been
but
bad.
He hasn't anyway, moving on. When he's been throwing to Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, he's looked good.
Yeah, agreed.
And now even like Darius Slayton. So he threw for 257 yards and 2 touchdowns this weekend, scoring 22.08. He is now going against Cincy and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Eagles. Jeez. Brain left me, which they should be able. I feel like they should be able to move the ball on. Sorry, couldn't think of. I was trying to get the Eagles out, and I was just like, I can see like the city. I can't see the team. Cincy and Philadelphia are coming up.
I like it. Mine is not as guaranteed to get points as yours because Daniel Jones is going to continue to be the starter. Mine, it's Drake May, rostered in 1.7% of leagues. I'm hearing whispers that he's going to finally get the starting job from Jacoby Brissett. Might be as soon as this weekend for the Patriots. While he's probably not going to go out there and be like this top 10 fantasy quarterback right away, it's if you're desperate, need some help, deeper league, especially like with bye weeks, he could provide some help. He's going to come out and want to make a big impact, show that like, oh, they sat me, but they shouldn't have type of deal, chip on his shoulder type of deal. And they have Houston and Jacksonville, which I think, they can move the ball on those defenses, but I also think they're going to be behind. So when you get behind big, the defense goes and prevent coverage, and you have a lot easier coverages to get that yardage on. So might be Drake May time finally.
Maybe.
I wonder how Cody feels about is he excited for Drake to get in there or if he wants him to keep sitting, especially because their O-line is so bad.
We're going to have to ask him.
We will.
All right. At running back, I've got Tank Bigsby. He's rostered in 9.5% of leagues. Part of Tank's workload was due to Etienne's shoulder injury. We think that, I guess.
Allegedly.
I guess it hasn't been confirmed.
Right.
But it seems like it's due to Etienne's shoulder injury. However, Bigsby ran the ball 13 times for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that's 1 week after he ran 7 times for 90 yards. He's looking more explosive than Etienne right now, and I think they'll keep getting him involved.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go Jeremy McNichols, the Washington Commanders, only rostered in about 2% of leagues. This is a deeper league grab, but he's been doing pretty well the past 2 games. First game, it was because Eckler was out. Last week, or I guess this weekend, it was more of that they were just up by so much. But he had 8 carries for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, 7 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown this week. I would grab him, and what I would do is put him on your bench, then start him in 2 weeks when they play, like in your flex spot, when they play the Panthers, because as we said at the beginning of the show, talking about the Bears, the Panthers team is garbage. And I think that Washington will be ahead of them and McNichols will get in and probably get a touchdown.
Complete garbage.
Complete garbage.
It's not really what you say, but I've turned it into complete garbage.
You made it family friendly, I guess.
Family friendly.
we had the niece and nephew here this weekend, and our nephew said, your podcast that you did Thursday? I was like, yeah. He says, I watched 5 minutes of it. And I immediately said, I'm sorry if I swore.
He'll call you out. You owe me $1 or you owe me $2.
He did say that, and I don't remember what we said shit about.
I was saying,
well, we said shit about something, and
I think it was the ice maker.
The ice maker. Anyways, he said something about that in our car. We said shit.
It was in the kitchen, and then I retaliated by saying shit.
I think, in our car, I said shit twice, and he said, "Uncle Justin, you owe me $2." And I said, "My car, I'll talk how I want."
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Derailed us a little bit.
A little bit. Wide receiver for you guys. Jalen Tolbert is rostered in 7.6% of leagues. I feel like we talked about this guy before, but he's still very low rostered, probably due to the fact that he had a bad game last week. This weekend, however, he was targeted 10 times by Dak and caught 7 of those for 87 yards and a touchdown. It sounds like Brandon Cooks is going to be missing some more weeks, and that means Tolbert will be getting some more looks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Serial, don't say we never put any Cowboys players on here because we just did. I'm going to go. You mentioned Daniel Jones. I'm going to stack a wide receiver with your quarterback and Darius Slayton, rostered at 8%. I know Neighbors was out, so that helped Slayton kind of have a bigger day. But sometimes, just one game like this where Daniel Jones is like, oh, yeah, I can throw it deep to this guy, and it has good results. I remember he's good. Maybe that carries over. He was targeted 11 times. He caught 8 for 122 yards and a touchdown, 26.2 points in a half PPR. That's stud-like. And, I think he's worth throwing on your bench and seeing if he can keep up a good performance. And we still don't know if Neighbors has passed the concussion protocol yet. So if he misses another game, you might want Slayton in there.
I can see that.
Yeah. And just so you know, I see the chat is popping. We will catch up with it.
Just a second.
Yep.
All right. Tight end for you guys. I don't know. We've talked about how hard it is to find a reliable tight end. They've been so inconsistent. Your big name tight ends aren't putting up the points. However, in half PPR right now, the 12th ranked tight end is only rostered in 9.3% of leagues. And
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I know we're still early in the season, but it's enough into we're getting some stats, we're starting to see how things are shaking out. This is still weird for me to throw this name out, but
real quick, did you do that on purpose? You're talking tight ends. Travis Kelce is a tight end, and you bring "Shake It Out." Isn't that a T Swift song?
Shake It Off.
Oh, well, there goes my T Swift knowledge for everybody. Close enough.
Isn't it Shake It? Yeah, it's Shake It Off.
Okay, my bad.
You're wrong. You interrupted me.
Collateral ligament. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't say the name yet. Brenton Strange of the Jags. He has touchdowns in 2 of the last 3 games and is coming off of a 4-catch, 24-yard, 1 touchdown performance. It doesn't sound so impressive, but it is when we're talking about he's 12th ranked in half PPR and tight ends aren't putting up the points.
Starting to show some consistency if he's 12th ranked.
Yeah. So there you go.
I agree.
Who do you have?
I got Kate Otten. I like these Bucks. I like Baker. It's weird to me that Kate Otten's only rostered in 16.7% of leagues. I know he hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year, but the last 3 games he's been targeted 8, 9, and 4 times and had 47, 52, and 44 yards. That's some consistency. And we know this team likes to throw the ball. Baker Mayfield is baking. Can we say that? Is it instead of cooking? He's let Russ cook. He's baking. He's a baker. And these defenses are more focused on trying to stop Mike Evans and Chris Godwin that we already talked about. So Bake is going to keep baking, and maybe to Cade. I'll stop with the baking. I apologize, everybody. It's been a long Monday, it feels like. But yeah, I got Cade Otten. I just think he should be rostered in more leagues.
Don't play Monday on your lameness.
Fine. I won't play Monday on my lameness. Let's check in with the chat. And let's see here. I'm trying to figure out where we left off. And here we go. Shant said, thank you. Thank you. If you could subscribe and give us a thumbs up, it helps us a lot. George Play 01, welcome back. Should I trade Mason for Achane? My other running backs are Barkley and Gibbs. If you're getting Devon Achane, I think it's a decent deal. I mean, I think it's pretty even either way. Jordan Mason, the only thing is if Christian McCaffrey does come back, or for Devon Chan if this injury is going to keep him sidelined for a while. I mean, those are things that kind of throw it. So I don't know if I necessarily like the trade. Usually position for position trades for me, they don't benefit you as much as if like, oh, I'm strong at running back. This person is strong at wide receiver. Let's trade a running back for a wide receiver. Not saying it would be bad, but I think that with the Dolphins struggling as well, Raheem Mostert coming back, I don't think I'd make the trade. I think there's too many question marks on both.
It's trading Mason to get a Chan.
I believe so.
I don't like it.
You don't
I'm
like
just
it?
going to say I don't like it.
You'd rather have Jordan Mason.
I would rather have Jordan Mason.
Okay, there you go. Daniel says, should I trade Jordan Mason for David Montgomery? That's another running back for running back trade, but I love Mason Monty.
I know. He
Is that a touchdown every week?
Every week.
Yeah.
I know they were on a bye this last week, but he's been a touchdown machine for them. I think he even had a receiving touchdown. He's getting we've talked about, I think we broke down his stats last week even.
Yeah.
But for carries, he's getting between 11 to 23 carries a week. For yards, I mean, he's getting those touchdowns too, so you're getting those touchdown points. But he 91, 35 and 40 were lower weeks for yards, but 105 for rushing.
Yeah.
I don't have his receiving stats right offhand, but he's also getting receptions.
Yeah.
He's being thrown to, targeted that way, getting touchdowns that way.
Yeah. So I like getting Montgomery a lot as well. I think Jordan Mason and the Niners are a very good run team. As we were talking about in the Mason for Achane trade, though, the trouble there is Christian McCaffrey coming back? Will it be soon? We don't know for sure, and that does leave some questions in the air.
Yeah.
But he's still very solid as well.
He is, because he's getting, like, we just mentioned Montgomery's carries, but in comparison, Jordan Mason is running the ball at least 20 times a game.
Yeah.
And for his yards don't even, he's getting between 77 and 147 yards a game.
Right.
For rushing. So
more consistency if CMC is out, but we just don't know for sure yet.
He's not coming back like next week or anything.
Yeah,
he's just now running on whatever hard ground is.
Running on hard ground now. No more soft ground running for him.
No more pillow running, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
running. I feel like that would break my ankle running on a pillow.
What is he running on? What is
know.
soft ground?
I don't know.
Like the tracks, like that rubber material?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Cap
That
for
still
life.
is like hard ground to me.
Yeah. Cap for life checking in saying I have a 12-point lead in my 14-team PPR league. My opponent tonight has Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and KC defense. Do I win tonight? Ooh. In a PPR league, that might be tough. It also depends how the defensive scoring is. But if they are able to turn the ball over from Carr or just hold them to low points, you're probably looking at 8 to 10 points from them. So that knocks that down to 25.12. Kareem Hunt, I think he's probably going to be good for 8 to 10 points. So that knocks it down to 15. And then it's a matter of, do you think Travis Kelce will score 15 points in a PPR? I think he might. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, if he gets that touchdown, if he, he finally had a good week, if he keeps that going, it's really hard to know. Like I don't necessarily trust my gut on those top tight ends that we're used to seeing because they just haven't been performing.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know, both of these defenses are pretty good tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. We're rooting for you to win, though. I'll tell you that. Also, what's the word with Rice? I heard he's out for the season, then I hear he's not. So he's getting his lateral collateral ligament, which is the correct term. He's getting surgery on that tomorrow morning. It's expected he will be out for the season, but they won't know until they go in there to do the surgery. So it's a matter of how clean of a tear it is, what all they need to do to repair it, and then that'll determine if he's out for the season. I would say
I would prepare like he is going to be out. Start looking to make some moves if you have him.
Yeah, I would say, especially fantasy football wise, I don't think he will be back for fantasy football. He may be back for the Chiefs in the playoffs. I think that's their best case scenario. But that doesn't help. Right. That won't help your fantasy football team.
No.
So yeah, I would go ahead and rule him out officially of your lineups. rule them out of your lineups, right? Yeah. Put them on that IR. Should we talk some whiskey? The game's going to start in about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes here.
Let's get through
We've
this
got
whiskey.
A little late start. So if you leave to go to the game because you're not interested in the whiskey, that's okay.
Check back later.
Yeah.
You can always come back.
This will be posted on its own, just whiskey under our whiskey section. So if you want to check back, you can check it out. And yeah, let's answer this question real quick. We'll try to keep up with the chat as well. I'm down 2 points. He has Travis Kelce. I have Worthy. Do you think I got this? It's another close one.
And that is a close one. Because of Kelsey's inconsistencies, I think yes.
You think yes?
I think there's a good chance that you got this. If Kelce has a good game, I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, and I think he is going to have a good game. So it will be close. So good luck, Z Money.
Yes,
hopefully.
Good luck.
Jay Smells. I'm J Mark, so that's a little offensive. If should I trade Malik Neighbors for Kyron Williams and Chris Godwin? Oof. Is it a keeper or dynasty league? Because if so, I would not trade Malik Neighbors away. Neighbors has been getting a massive target share as well. But I do like Chris Godwin, and I do like how Kyron Williams has been performing. He's a
touchdown machine too.
Yeah. Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown is like a sure bet. So,
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too. Despite Malik Neighbors, that reminds me, I had a bet that I completely forgot to share when we were talking about our bets. I did share it on our Twitter, so if you're not following our Twitter, make sure you check that out. But it's a little alt line bet. Patrick Mahomes, 175 plus passing yards. Patrick Mahomes, 1 passing touchdown. I had to get to this now because the game's about to start. Alvin Kamara, 40 plus rushing yards. Xavier Worthy, over 3.5 receptions. Xavier Worthy, over 30.5 receiving yards. And Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown, that's plus 455, or depending on the book you use, a lot of them do boosts on Monday night. Get it boosted to plus 668. Going to be adding little alt line bets here and there. Check out our Twitter for those. Back to the questions here. Anyways, yeah, we decided that we like that trade, right?
Yeah,
I thought so. Just want to make sure. Trill checking in saying, I'm up 0.8 with only my defense. KC left. My opponent doesn't have anybody left. Should I bench my defense to secure this victory? I don't think they'll score negative, but it's not a bad idea. If you're worried that they might score negative, because if you're up and he has nobody left to play, why not? Right?
Yeah, because you could get
because the defense can technically get negative if the Saints route him or something. I doubt it happens, but that possibility is always there. So I mean,
I've never thought about this before like this, but that's not a bad move.
Yeah. Now some people will say it's frowned upon, but I don't mind the move. You're just ensuring that you're not going to lose by your defense getting negative points.
Worries about point correction. I was thinking about that too, because sometimes there are point corrections.
Yeah.
But let's just say that, because I do think both of these defenses, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a interesting game.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game by any means.
I don't think it is either.
Yeah, the point corrections is a good point. I hadn't even thought about that. Oh, Sports Gambling Podcast Network, which we're a part of, their motto is "Let it ride." So I say leave them in and let it ride.
Let it ride, and then you're not being accused of being
weaselly by benching your defense.
But it is. I would hate to see your defense get a negative, get -1, and then that would. But you're not exactly up enough for me to feel comfortable because of the point corrections.
Right. Artie says, leave them in. You're fine. Josiah says, I love whiskey. Michelle and Seth checking in. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go Saints. I don't know. Should we talk about a little whiskey?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Do you want to give the history?
Absolutely.
All right. I'll do a little pouring. Do you want me to pour them both? Pour them in an order? What do you want to taste first?
Pour them both. We're going bourbon to rye.
Bourbon to rye. All right. Don't mind me while I turn my back to the YouTubers.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So like we said earlier, we're going to be trying Angel's Envy bourbon and the rye. These are ones that, what did you say? Episode 6 We did Angels Envy
We did
way
the
back
bourbon.
on episode 6. So you can go back and see our very first impression of the first time we ever tried Angels Envy.
I feel like our palate is probably a little more developed now because we drank a decent amount of, like, we tried different whiskeys back when we started this, but we've had a lot more by doing this podcast.
Yes. However, this is also one that I feel like people have. So when we're going out, or people like, and we've had Angels Envy much more recently than episode 6.
Well, yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, for as far as building the taste profile.
Oh, we're probably
stuff
better
like
at
that.
reviewing it now. You mean? Yeah. We probably that. I see what you're saying. I'm following, Justin.
Following along.
It has been a while since I've had the rye, though.
Yeah. Bourbon is in the short glass. I'm saying it now because I will forget.
You will. You have very short-term memory.
Why do you say that?
I just do.
What?
What?
What are we talking about?
Exactly. Anyway, sorry, we're lame. The bourbon has a really good price point. You can find it pretty much anywhere. And we like Angels Envy. We recommend it. So to give you guys a little bit of background and history, Angels Envy was founded by Bourbon Hall of Fame member and master distiller Lincoln Henderson and his son Wes. They focus heavily on unique secondary finishing technique, by maturing the normal way in charred oak barrels, but then they transfer to secondary finishing casks. So if you've been on a distillery tour anywhere or talked about whiskey in depth with anybody, and you'll know that during the aging process, some of the whiskey evaporates, and that's known as the Angel's Share. So after tasting the whiskey, Lincoln joked that tasting it, or like after the secondary finish, was a better deal than what the Angels got from the maturing process.
Oh, yeah, because when you're finishing, it probably doesn't really evaporate. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and again, like that Angel's Share, it's lost in the pre-secondary finish. So that's how the name Angels Envy was created. And in 2016, they opened. I feel like you're going to say something.
I was just going to say, if we mentioned that in the episode 6 way back when, I didn't remember it. That's kind of funny. That's how they came up with the name. I like it.
Okay. See, your memory. We're going back to your memory. So this is like brand new for you.
Right.
In 2016, they opened the first full production whiskey distillery, along with it's a long whiskey row in Louisville, where they have tours, tasting, cocktail classes, and more. And then in 2022, the master distiller position was transferred to Owen Martin, and he was previously in Denver distilling single malt whiskey for Stranahan's Whiskey Distillery. Angels Envy also has a partnership with the Arbor Day Foundation to help replenish America's white oak, which are the same that's used in their barrels. So far, through help with the Arbor Day Foundation, Angels Envy has planted 311,000 trees, including 40,000 in Kentucky.
Nice.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there is, like, this is basically their way of giving back, since they used the trees for their barrels. However, it's not just to regrow trees. The trees also help prevent soil erosion. They filter water, improve rainfall absorption, and reduce runoff. Plus, in case you didn't know, trees are kind of important.
A little bit.
So you can go in and you can learn more or donate to their cause on their website.
I heard that was a myth, that trees don't really produce oxygen. I'm kidding. I didn't hear that.
Okay, because I've got nothing, because I've never heard that, and that's ridiculous. Anyway, can you stop interrupting me if you have useless things to say?
That was not useless.
Some of Angels Envy's products, they're like, for their 3 main ones anyway, is their bourbon finished in port casks, their rye, which is finished in rum casks, and then they have a triple oak bourbon, which I have not tried.
Yeah, me neither.
And we are drinking the bourbon finished in port casks, which is blended twice before and after secondary maturing. And then the rye that's finished in rum casks, which spends 18 months in Caribbean rum casks. So
Caribbean, huh?
Caribbean. Don't mess with my pronunciation. So the bourbon was in the short one.
Yes.
You remember this?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I told you though, so that you would remember.
Do we have really quick though? Do we have questions?
Nope. Just RD saying how many times has defense gone negative in your league? Not a lot, but it's happened at least a couple times this season. I have seen a couple of them go negative. Usually it's a worse defense, but it does happen from time to time. I'm curious what you get in the taste and smell, because there's one tasting note and on the nose that is really jumping out at me on this.
Yep. Hold on. I don't like the dead space though. So
okay. Well, for me, I get maple syrup a lot.
Maple syrup.
Yeah. There's a lot of maple syrup on the nose.
I guess it's like a caramely maple.
I get maple for sure. Try it now too.
Okay.
Are you tasting? Is it because I said it, you think, or do you think that's
no? Because it's not caramel, but it has a very sweet smell on the nose.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, it's maple.
This is such a good bourbon.
It is, yeah. It's
for the
really
price.
Easy drinker. It's a good go-to. It is finished in ports. I feel like some of the port finished whiskeys, you get a strong port taste.
I've never gotten that with this, and which is why I kind of forgot it was finished in port.
I think you're good. I think maybe get a little bit of Madeira on the end there, but it's not like an overly strong port taste.
No, you don't get that strong wine port.
Right. So like we have some friends that enjoy whiskey, like Josh, but doesn't really care for a port or a port finish. I don't think that overpowers this flavor at all.
No, we have tried others that are finished in wine casks or port casks, and
you get a lot of that flavor.
You do.
This one I feel it's balanced really well. That it gives it a subtle sweetness. I feel like.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Definitely, it does. It doesn't have heat, but it hits harder than I remembered. And I think it's just because I taste so much more flavors.
Hits harder?
There's like some spice pop to it.
A little at the end.
Yeah.
On the finish. Maybe on the finish. But no, this is a really easy drinker.
Well, yeah. No, that's why I said it's not heat, but it's different. I'm picking up more than I remember.
But it's more complex than a normal bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because of that finish, when you take like a bourbon and you finish it in something, it ups it.
Yeah.
It makes it better. Like I feel like I love anything that's, finished in something. Finishing.
Yeah.
We do a lot of reviews on those craft distillers, and this is something like a craft distiller would do. It would finish a bourbon in a port cask or something like that.
It's a great way to separate yourself from what everybody else is doing, because the finishes, even if it's multiple finished in port, depends on what kind of port. It depends how long you let it finish and everything. Now, I'm curious on this one. Yeah. This one smells much sweeter.
It just smells like sugar, brown sugar.
There's a flavor that's not brown sugar that I'm picking up too.
Rum.
Like rum. A little bit of rum. Vanilla.
It smells like you're gonna make cookies. Spicy cookies.
This smells amazing.
It does, but the brown sugar hits you so hard the first sniff.
Yeah.
And then you go in for the second time and it's there, but it's vanilla.
So I got
like you do the 3 sips with whiskey, and by the third sip you've tasted it in full, and then you take it's like you bring this into your nose a few times and different things hit you.
I got brown sugar and then rum and then the vanilla, like in that order as I was getting them. Yeah. Oh, this smells really, really good. Like you said, it smells like you're getting ready to
bake some cookies.
Yeah. Taste. Did you draw back or did you?
No.
Oh, I thought you tasted it and went,
I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh, okay. Can definitely tell that it was finished in rum casks. Unlike this one, which is very subtle on the port, I feel like you can taste the rum in the rye.
And I feel like if you're gonna if you're gonna finish something in a cask like that, you want to taste it.
Right. Yeah.
That's
18
part of it.
months is a good amount of time so that it does pick
and
up.
it has the spices, like, so like your darker spiced rum, like, because the rye is naturally spicier.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good.
It is good. It is also a very easy drinker.
Mm-hmm. Definitely could do this neat.
This
or
one, yeah.
I don't like to do on the rocks as much, because I know some people can will add a couple drops of water, and it changes the experience of the whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fine if that's your preference, but I don't want watered down. I don't want to water down my whiskey like when the ice melts. So I normally just do whiskey neat.
Now this one's price point is a little different than the bourbon. The bourbon is more of a go out for a Friday night and grab it, This one's probably more for us anyways. I don't know what your unit size is, but our unit size when buying whiskeys, this is more of like a special occasion type whiskey.
It is. And we did get a deal at Costco when we got this.
Did we?
Yeah, we got this. This was a Costco pickup.
I think I remember that now. Yeah. About $20 cheaper than what you could find it at Wall.
We don't drink this one often, and it sits in my office. And tasting this is why it reminds me of why it's in my office.
One of your office whiskeys, yeah.
For anybody to just
now, if you
make a drink with.
If you're not worried about your unit size and you're going out to get either of them, do you recommend they pick up the rye if they had to choose?
If you're looking to just have a whiskey neat, and you want something a little, oh my gosh, this is so good.
It's very good.
It has a very brown sugar rum after it's finish.
Yeah.
Like
it is
and
very
on the
good.
lips there. Yeah.
It makes
anyway. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I know normally like port or port type is what we like to sip around the fire, but this makes me want to have it around the fire for some reason. I don't know if it's almost like a fall taste because of the brown sugar and the sweetness. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's okay
but if you're looking to, I guess I would drink the bourbon neat as well. But I think that the bourbon is a really good go-to if you want to buy like a good bourbon and you want to make a really good old fashioned. Angel's Envy is a recommendation. If you want to get something a little bit more special and you want to drink it neat, I guess you could make, we're going to make an old fashioned with this on Thursday's show. I don't know. Did we make an old fashioned with this when we first reviewed it? We would have. That was our,
yeah, I'm sure we did.
But yeah, the rye is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I would pick it over the bourbon as well, but both are very good. We were both wrong on our first touchdown. Kareem Hunt just ran it up the middle.
No, you're kidding me.
No.
Why? See, I can't be here when we're wrong. You told me I was wrong last week, and I was like, no, just stop talking to me. See, I don't like that kind of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
It happens, though. We've hit far more than we've missed as far as unit payout goes. Yeah, Josiah worried about our units.
No, your units. Our units are still up.
Yes, our units are still at full mass. I believe now we're at, I didn't update it from the weekend because we hit some of the bets we gave out for the weekend, but I think we're still around plus 18. We're at an 18er for our units. She gave me the old sholdder look that time. She got
a pretty big unit.
Our units are not ruined. Don't
Can
worry.
we? Yes.
Miranda would like to move on from the unit.
I don't like units make me uncomfortable. Saying unit.
Not what she said last night. Do you have anything else you'd like to add about football, whiskey, units, or other?
No, just good luck to everyone tonight who joined us in the chat. Who, I feel like most of my leagues are riding on tonight's game.
Yeah,
not necessarily riding on it, but I've got players in most of my leagues playing tonight. So
yeah, so I think we had Trills, Z Money, Cap for Life, Wesley all talked about they needed some players tonight. So good luck to you. I hope you guys win. And yeah, everybody have a good week. We'll be back on Thursday for start sits, best bets. We're probably going to be doing it as a roundtable. So you'll have more people to ask your start sits, talking about some of the surprises in fantasy football this year, as well as talking about the I'm getting distracted by the chat here. as well as talking about some players to stash or trade for. Josiah, could you explain the concept of effective nuclear charge and how it affects atomic radii ionization energies? Yes, I can, but I'm not gonna. If you don't have anything else to add,
I feel like we were just asked the homework question there.
Right. The answer is the lateral collateral ligament. Then my whiskey is just about gone.
Mine will be.
And yours will be, especially that rye. Going once, going twice.
Sold.